Welcome to Sacred Rebels podcast, where we discuss life after trauma as we question societal norms and shatter stigmas. Are you a woman who longs for a sense of community and understanding? Well, stick around. There is a seat for you here. This is your host, Tay.
And co-host Amy.
And we're just two best friend millennial moms and entrepreneurs navigating life and motherhood while on a spiritual healing journey.
We don't do surface level, and we're definitely not your typical moms, so let's dig deep. We plan to cover it all and take you behind the scenes as we share our personal experiences, learn more about the holistic side of healing, and introduce all the incredible humans we've met along the way.
Join us as we share the good, the bad, and the ugly side of healing. We hope to help you step into your power. Thanks so much for listening. Hey y'all, welcome back to another episode of Sacred Rebels. Tonight, you are so lucky to have just me and Abe.
The Ame and I show.
Yeah, and
it's our favorite show.
Yeah, we're actually really excited to talk about this past women's circle and all the fun things. So after we do our big deep breath, Aim's gonna read our card and all the things.
One hand on the heart, one hand on the belly. Take a big inhale, lift up, rise up, fill up. Open the heart. And then slowly exhale, let it go. So the card I pulled tonight, I've never pulled this card before. So it's number 24, and it's called New Birth and Guarded Vigilante. And there's a couple really interesting pieces. This one was actually like 3 pages, like so much information. But in every creative process, in every birth, in every opening of a new cycle of life, there is a time of vulnerability. This vulnerability is natural and appropriate. It is the fowl, the deer, learning to become steady on its legs. Those legs will become remarkably powerful in time, but the process of growth and maturity has to take place, and that requires some wobbly first attempts, and it cannot be in any other way. It's so true. It's even like my post that I posted on, I'm like trying to learn the hand pan, and I'm like holding myself accountable because I've been wanting to just like learn it. And I'm such a hands-on learner that I actually would really, if anybody's out there and they know how to play it, I need somebody to teach me. Like, I need somebody to show me and teach me. I'm not a YouTube learner because that's what people keep telling me. They're like, oh, go on YouTube and do it. I can't.
Yeah, you need like the in-person,
I'm
one-on-one contact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, show me, and I'm going to copy you, and you're going to like tell me and like be in my energy and like that.
Yeah.
So I really, really need that. And it's not like a common instrument, so...
I know, I love the hand pan, and I love when you play it. So, yeah, get on that.
Yeah, I'm putting it out there, and I'm
And
putting
then teach
myself
me.
out there. I'm like, I suck, and I'm just doing it anyway.
No, it's true. That's like with anything, though. Like, you got those wobbly legs when you first start something new. Same with, like, riding a bike or, you know, the first breathwork thing I had. I was shaking like a leaf, and you're like, chill, bitch, it's me. And I'm like, no, not okay.
Well, it was even the women's circle that you ran by yourself.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And even our first women's circle, like we had no idea what we were doing. But I think that that's people's biggest limiting belief right now is that, or people are so consumed what other people think that they're like, oh, what if I fail? What if I fail? Yeah, you probably are going to fail. You probably are going to suck. Like we don't know
what the fuck we're doing at first.
No, and that's with anything, and with kids and with children, like riding bikes,
They
don't have that mental block where they're like, oh, somebody's going to watch me fall and I'm not going to get back up. Like, no, they just keep getting back up and you just keep doing it again.
Trying.
It's like the same thing as walking. Like, your kids learn to do anything and they're just resilient about it, and they have this resiliency, and they're just like, yeah, I want to do this because I see these other people like riding bikes, the older kids, like, and I want to do it. So they do it. And they don't care if they fall.
I know.
I don't care if I suck.
Yeah, that's just it. I think we all have to get out of the mindset of like the first time we do something, it has to be perfect or it has to be right. Because I know for me, that's like this limiting belief that I've had forever that like if I don't know how to do something, like I might as well just not do it. Because like, you know, there's always going to be someone better to do it out there. But in my opinion, I'm like, I think the older I get too, the more that I'm able to be honest and really humble myself and be truthful by saying like, yeah, this, like, I'm new at this, I don't know what I'm doing, like, let's learn together, like, let's, you know, do the things together, which a lot of people don't have that. Or like so I don't know, it's tough because a lot of people don't have like the what am I trying to say here, not support, but like maybe accountability of like people to be like, no, this is something you said you wanted to do, like, let's do it, you're gonna do it. You need like someone to help push you and like guide you in that way. And thank God,
community.
yes, a community connection,
Dun, dun, dun.
like-minded women, like-minded people. Like, you need kind of like that helpful push to get back up on that bike again and keep riding. Like, that's what it takes, I feel like, sometimes.
Yeah, or people to be like, yeah, you suck, but isn't that bad, and you're gonna get better.
Yeah, you're gonna get better. The constructive criticism is always welcome.
Yeah, I fucking love constructive
always
criticism.
welcome. Yeah,
That's what I say. I literally say it almost on a regular basis in the app, where I'm like, guys, like, I'm building this. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. I just know that my teachings and the education and the things that I've had need to be out there. So the only way to figure it out is to put it out there.
Yeah, to just do.
To just do it.
To just do it. Post it messy. That's what I say. That's like the biggest lesson I've had throughout like all, 4 years of living on social media and having like this huge like social media presence and having to create content and all the things. Like, the number one lesson that all my mentors told me was like, post it messy.
Yeah,
Nobody gives a fuck. It's real. It's relatable. You don't have to some like perfect curated picture perfect Instagram post. Like, post it messy.
Yeah.
And that's just like anything in life. Do it messy.
More, right. It's like I've connected with way more people from being like at the sound bath crying because I'm in one of the hardest times in my life, going through all the things that I'm going through, being vulnerable. That's what the thing said, like vulnerability. I always say it, vulnerability is a superpower. Having that, I've connected with way more people when I'm like, yeah, fucking life sucks and life's hard, and I'm just like a crying mess, and people are like, I get it, rather than when I'm like up here and I'm like, life's amazing and I'm doing amazing,
stoic and strong faced, like, and just like acting like nothing phases you.
Most of the times I am pretty stoic and I like can just like get through a lot of the stuff on my own, but it's like peaks and valleys, right? And like that's fucking life. And when you're honest and real, that's when people are like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
This is real. 'Cause
that's the thing. You can't fake authenticity. No. Like, you can't fake who you are. So if you're trying to be someone you're not, it's going to catch up with you. And sooner or later, people are going to be like, the fuck? Who are you trying? Like,
yeah, who are you trying
to be? Oh. Like, what?
No.
It's not you. So at the end of the day, just be you. Just post it messy. Do the uncomfortable things. Get those wobbly legs wobbling and fucking do it, bitch, because it's worth it. It's always, right? Like, me and Jessica had a phone conversation the other day, and I was, like, telling her how scared I was about certain situations, and she was like, listen, think about every single time you've ever been scared. And I was like, all right. And I, like, sat there for a minute, and I, like, thought about all the times I've been scared, and she's like, and what happened afterwards? What happened after you did the thing that, like, scared you or, like, you were super fearful about? And I was like, okay, yeah. Like, I had a major breakthrough and I was like on top of the world, and it was like one of the best highs that I ever, like, natural highs, because I like did something so terrifying and got through it and was like so proud. And she's like, exactly. Like, at the other side of fear, there's always breakthrough. Like, we have to keep facing our fears to push through to the next level of ourselves. I truly believe that. Like, if we're living in a life that's not fearful in any way, like, you don't have fear, like any type of fear, do you know what I mean? Like, something that scares you, like, or makes you uncomfortable, like, it's not.
It's that saying, if your dreams don't make you uncomfortable, you're not dreaming big enough.
Yeah, like, if
you're not afraid of your dreams,
you gotta have those little, like, flutters in your stomach, or that little heart race, like something that's like, okay, like, this is important, or like, this is like a big deal. Like, you have to find those things for yourself to get through them, to show yourself that you are resilient, you are, capable of all the big things.
Yeah, breakthroughs always come from breakdowns.
Yes, exactly. Hashtag that.
Yeah. Yeah, literally. Yes. That's what happened that's what we learned with the breaking the arrow on our necks. Like, you break the arrow and it breaks, and then you make something prettier out of it, and like, you do all the things, and
so
it's just
cool.
Like,
so how do you break it on your neck? Like, Like this?
Oh,
Like,
no.
yeah.
No,
Okay.
no, no, no.
Shoot it at your neck.
So it goes in the soft spot of your neck, like right here, like in that little soft spot where like your bone meets.
Yeah. Like in between
In like your trach
yeah.
area, and she stands there with a target, and the end of the arrow goes on the target, and then you stand there and you ground down, and then the fire's roaring and everyone's like around you, and you like pick a spirit animal that's gonna like help you. So then all the women
What
are
was your
like
spirit animal?
the Black Widow.
I'm dead.
So bitch is my spirit animal.
Okay, keep going.
So you put the arrow in your neck, and she stands there, and you're in there, and everybody's chanting, and everyone's like yelling like Black Widow, or there was like wolf, and there was people like howling or whatever. We were like whatever animal it was, and you're all these women are around you. The fire's burning that you're about to walk on, and you have to literally place your feet down, and you throw yourself at the like you throw yourself at the arrow, like it's here, and you just like literally you're like, okay. I was like, all right, you know what, I was like, if I go out and it's because I got an arrow through my neck, that's fucking badass. Like, I'm going out that way.
Dope.
But there was like there was a lot of people that were like resistant and like, really like and it was fucking scary. But on the other side, I knew the other side of it was so beautiful, and I watched other people do it. I wasn't the first one to do it, so that was also a thing. So I was like, all right, well, nobody else died, so here we go.
Yeah.
And then it just fucking shatters into a million pieces, and then you go and pick up all the pieces, and then you use yarn and feathers, and you like create a new thing.
Cool.
And then the fire goes out like after this whole ceremony, and you walk across the fire, and you're like, dude, I just fucking broke an arrow with my neck. Like, I can definitely walk across fire. Right?
Seriously,
like,
I would rather walk across fire than try to break an arrow with my neck.
Yeah, and it's a real hunting arrow. Like,
I
that
know.
shit was like metal and sharp, and I was like sore there for a couple of days, like for sure. But it's like mind over matter.
Yeah.
Like when you like,
Yeah.
But like we are capable of really doing and creating and doing whatever we want. Like, it is a fucking mind block. It's that stupid saying. It's like, if you say you can't, you can't. If you say you can, you can't.
Yeah.
With anything.
I know.
It's so wild. But so with that being said, I am going to get certified in that. By this time next year, I'll hopefully be certified to run these ceremonies.
And then we'll do it at the Women's Circle.
Yes, and then we'll do it at the Women's Circle, because it'll be so powerful. She's actually holding a mineral walk in November. I'm going to link it in the on the socials, and she asked me to play the sound bowls for it. So I'm going to be walking across glass in November, because it's so that like the time that we just passed with before the equinox was all about elements and fire and air and water, and now this next stage is about minerals. So that's why we're going to be walking on glass. So I'm walking on glass in November, and I get to be a part of the event. Like, when you put yourself out there, because what happened was I brought my sound bowls and my hand pan to the fire. I had them in my truck, and I brought them out, and I was like playing music for the fires, because I was like, because it was all about ancestors. Well, it was all, the fire was all about ancestral like power and healing.
Yeah.
And like fire is medicine. And so she said she had like some hand drums and some like maracas and stuff, and I know that me being able to play these instruments is an ancestral gift.
Yeah,
because
100%.
I never, I say it all the time, like I never played a musical instrument in my life. I have no idea what I'm doing. It's just happens.
You just picked it up and did it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, I'm definitely going to get my sound bowls, because I'm just thanking my ancestors for this, because I know that that's what it is.
Yeah.
So that was really powerful. And with me doing that and being like, not afraid to like go and get my stuff and like put myself out there, and now I get to work with this woman and work at these events with her, and I'm just like
cool.
so honored, and like
so cool.
That's just like all the things that continually unfold.
Yeah, opportunity and abundance. I'm telling you, you put yourself out there and you aren't afraid to fail forward, then like you're gonna keep failing forward into new opportunities, new people, new places, new things. Like it just it's part of it. It's part of it. And I think that's what holds so many people back. It's so many people are afraid of failure. And it's like, why? Like, I just think about like heartbreak or, a job that you didn't get. Like, you probably ended up with a better man or a better girl or a better job. Like, it's
Yeah.
like, who fucking cares? Like, if something doesn't happen for you, it's because it's not meant for you. Like, that's like we say all the time. It's like, I know these things are happening, you know, for me, not to me. Like, this shit is happening for us, not to us. And so, like, it's our job to be the observer and not take shit so personal and not be so attached to outcome, because
You're choosing it. You're
Yeah.
choosing your
Wrapped
suffering.
up in
If you're
outcome.
sitting at home and you're suffering right now, or you're in pain or whatever, and all those feelings are valid, right?
So valid.
So valid. But just know that you're the one choosing it. And you
Yes.
have the opportunity to choose and start to look at it and say, hey, what is this teaching me? How can I love myself more in this relationship? What did I tolerate that I'm not willing to tolerate anymore?
Yep.
What did I learn? What was the lesson in it? And how can I have compassion and empathy more and love for others? Like, that's it. That's the
Yeah.
main lesson. I say it all the time in my app. I say it all the time everywhere. Like, this life and what we do and how we have come here as human beings, because we are spiritual beings having a human experience.
Yep.
We are not human beings having a spiritual experience. It's the other way around. And everybody's so fucking caught up on the human experience piece that they don't talk about the spiritual condition.
Yeah.
And it is our spiritual condition that gives us our inner wellness, that creates our outer reality.
Yep.
That's it.
I know.
And when you make that shift and you start to have that awareness, everything in your life will change. Every
Yeah.
single thing in your life will change. You're still going to have struggle. You're still going to have pain. You're still going to have bad days. That's the other thing too. I had somebody reach out to me from the app today and being like, I'm just having a bad day. I'm like, okay, have a bad fucking day.
Yeah.
Just sit in your shit.
Yeah.
Have a bad day. Allow yourself to move it. Allow yourself to feel it deeply, and then keep it moving. And just know that it's okay to not be okay.
Yep.
Right? There's like
Yep.
I think Demi Lovato did a song about
there
that.
There is a stigma on that, for sure.
Well, a stigma, yeah, but I was saying Demi Lovato did a song
But yeah,
on
but
that.
there's still like a huge
There's
stigma around,
yeah,
like,
that
not
you
being,
can't be
yeah.
okay. Like, it's our hustle culture. It's like, oh, we can't
Yeah.
have a rest
Just
day.
keep going, keep going. It's like, no, if you're having a bad day, you say it all the time, make it bigger. If you're
Bigger.
sad, make it bigger.
Yeah.
Like, put on a sad song, cry it the fuck out, go watch the shows that need to make you cry. For me, it's Million Little Things. My God, I put that show on and I'm just like weeping. But that's the release that I need, or that it calls for. Yeah. And that's, again, kind of leads us to like talking about the women's circle that we had, because it was so beautiful, and Amanda stepped up and she led, and like, again, she had never led a women's circle, and like, she didn't really know what she was doing, but she offered because she wanted to kind of like get into that role and start, you know, leading circles and doing those things and stepping into that leadership role. And I was like, fuck yeah, dude. Like,
Yeah.
we've been asking, like, we've literally been like, if you
We don't
guys
wanna
want
do
to,
it all the time.
we don't. It's exhausting.
We want to
have-
be nourished.
yeah, and we
We
have
were
crazy
nourished.
busy lives. Like, I know you do. I know I do. So I'm
Yeah.
like, you know, sometimes I don't have enough to give, and I want people to step up more, but I know it's terrifying, obviously, because like my first one, I was just, oh my God, you should have seen Tyler's face. She's like, you gonna make it? And I'm like, nope.
But I don't know if we ever even talked about this, because this was so important too, and it was like a really like, you know, evolutionary part in like our friendship and our partnership and our dynamic, because, you know, I've always, you know, you've always looked up to me,
Yep.
right? Because I was your sponsor, and we've like grown together, and now we're like at this point where we're 100% like, we've always been equals, right? But
Yeah.
it was just that I've, you know, like I had more knowledge in this stuff, and
Yeah.
it was kind of
You had the things I
It
wanted
was
when I
always
first
me
got
taking you
sober.
with me, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? And then
Yeah.
I was gonna say, when you were talking about the fear shit, I'm like, yeah, everything that I ask you to do, and you're like, Amy, what the fuck are we doing? And I'm always like, we're doing it, we're gonna be fine. But did you die?
Did you die? No.
You didn't die.
You didn't
You're still
die,
here.
and we're
It
still
was-
here.
We're still here. We're doing all this shit. And I'm that friend, if you guys probably could tell
Yes,
that. But I'm
she's
like,
100% that friend. There is like no one in my life, truly, besides Dale, that has like made me go so far out of my comfort zone and do shit that terrifies me more than this bitch. So serious.
I will
my
happily be
husband-
that person
yeah,
for anyone,
My
really.
husband's really good at helping me grow in ways that I didn't know I was capable. But yeah, that's just what you need in your life. You need someone who's going to show you the best versions of yourself and show you what you're capable of and help you get there, because sometimes we need a little push.
But
And
that
you were
woman's
that
circle,
push.
But that woman's circle, I was getting a tattoo with Kelsey, and the other tattoo before hers ran late.
Yes,
and
not this,
was
not this last one. The one that I ended up leading because Aim couldn't make it.
Yeah, and I was like, I was going through, it was Kelsey's 18th birthday, and she wanted to get a tattoo, and I don't know if y'all are like people, but she was so excited about it, so I couldn't not go when
Yeah.
Dale
Her first
messaged
little
me and
tattoo,
was
yeah.
like, messaged like, I'm running late, and I was like, fuck, I'm gonna miss the women's circle. Like, I really didn't want to miss the women's circle, but I can't tell Kelsey. Like, I had to, like, I made a choice, and I was like, Tay, like, I'm gonna be there, but like, I know you've got this. Like, you've got this. And I fully, as I was there, because like, obviously I was in the tattoo shop, like a little upset that I was gonna miss it, because I need the women's circles too. They're for me too,
Yep.
even though we're doing these things.
No, they're
They
definitely for
fill
us.
my cup up so much. Like, Friday filled my cup up so much. It was so, I was just like laying in the ground in the rain, soaking wet like a drowned rat, just like so happy. But literally. But I knew it as I was getting the tattoo. I was like, this happened on purpose, because Taylor called me. She's like, I can't do this without you. There's no way. I'm having a full anxiety attack. There's no way I can run this. Like, I can't do this. I can't. And I'm just like, Taylor, like, yes, you can. Like, you absolutely can. And like, it was like, I like, higher self was like, this happened for a reason. This happened for a reason.
It did. I had to step into my power and see what I was capable of. But also, like, I think people have like a huge misconception of like me and like, talking on the internet all the time, and like, it's totally fucking different. People think like, they're like, oh, you go live all the time and you're always in your stories and you're always making reels. It's like, that is so fucking different than getting up in front of like a group of women or people and holding space. Like, it's so different. And so for me, it's like a public speaking thing, because I'm like, I'm not like, no, all eyes on me, like, no. And that's another thing, like, huge misconception. Like, I'd rather be the one back here watching than being like center of attention. Does that make sense? Yeah. Like, I'd rather be behind the curtains and you're the showstopper. You're like in the fucking on stage, and I'm like the hype girl, like, let's go.
Well, that's funny, because there's a lot of misconceptions about our relationship. People love to talk about us, or people think that I literally control Taylor. Like, that's like a weird,
that's another
thing, like that, like,
because she was my sponsor, and all of a sudden, like, now I just have to like follow all the rules and just whatever Amy says, I do.
There is no rules.
The rules are made up. Yes, tell you all the fucking time.
But the shit that we hear about that, or it's like that I like make her do things, or like this like weird dynamic.
It's just weird.
Like, it's
there's no power dynamic, and there's no power struggle between me and Aim. Like, we do this. We laugh. We have a good fucking time. We hold each other accountable. I call her on her shit. She calls me on my shit, and that's just like what it is. And she's been in this role and in this space a lot longer than me, like holding space and helping women heal collectively, and just like people in the community, right? So of course she has more knowledge and experience, and I go to her with questions or with the things, and she's that one friend that's like helping me, like, push me into that role, because she sees that and I see it. I just sometimes don't believe it in myself, but you're always that one to be like, nope, you're fucking doing it. We're fucking doing it.
Let's fucking go.
With those wobbly ass legs, bitch. We're going. So Amanda stepped up and she led, and it was so fucking beautiful, and it poured, and like, that's another thing, right? All weekend I was so grateful, and I was so ecstatic that so many people showed up, even though it was pouring. There were still like 20 people.
So many people messaged me after, like, once we sent the pictures, and they're like, wow, like, I wish I would have, like, stuck it out. I wish I would have gone. I didn't think you guys were going to have it. And then one lady was like, I thought it got canceled, and then I should have known that it was you guys, that you would definitely still do it. Yeah, of course we were going to do it. And we got, I don't know, so many messages.
Yeah, I got a ton.
Yeah.
I got a ton. And like, that's okay too, right? It's like, some of the girls that were going to be like, it was like their first time coming to a circle ever, which I totally understood, right? It's like fucking pitch black, dark. You don't know me or Aim, and I'm like having you come to my house and it's pouring rain. Like, I get it, right? It's like a little weird, a little uncomfortable. So totally understand. But yeah, at the end of the day, like, we show up, right? Like, it's like, if there was anything that sobriety and getting sober taught me, it was like, I fucking show up for my people.
Yeah.
Like, rain or shine, sick or not, like, if I fucking say I'm doing something, I'm fucking doing it. Mm-hmm. That's like, I pride myself on that, because truly, like, I show the fuck up. Like, and unless I'm like dying in a bed somewhere, truly like, you know, sick, dying or something, God forbid, like something's wrong with my kids, like I show up. And that was like the number one thing that I made a promise to myself that I was going to start showing up for my people, because I was that one person that was like always MIA, never showing up, or showing up 2 hours late, looking like a fucking train wreck, like not adding value or bringing value anywhere I went, like just like, you know, a fucking fly on the wall basically.
Yeah.
Not okay with that. So, yes, we still held it and it was beautiful, and my husband set the whole yard up with lights, and it was fucking epic, and I'm
The
almost
food
I'm
was
almost
so
grateful it
good.
rained. I'm
Yeah.
like almost grateful it rained, because I think it like added to it.
Yeah, it did.
Like I think it just like
It was on purpose because it was all the
yeah,
elements. It was
all the
fire, it was
elements.
water, it was air, and it was earth.
Oh my god, so good under the full super moon, which
We couldn't
sucked. We couldn't see it,
But it was there.
but it was there.
And the possum
Yeah,
came through.
and the energy
we had
was
animal
there.
energy.
Amanda led us through like a beautiful gratitude, you know, and release workshop, like what we wanted to release, and obviously what we were super grateful for.
How we envisioned ourselves as our higher
Yep,
selves.
as our higher selves, which Amy made a really good point during that exercise to help everyone, because she said just to like help you imagine that, because sometimes we all have like a really hard time imagining who our higher self is, right? It's like I know who my higher self is, but sometimes I can't believe that because I have like all these like my kids and my husband and like, you know, all these outside circumstances, right? And she was like, really what you want to think about is like, what would your inner child, like what would your healed inner child look like? And we were all just like, oh wow, like, you know.
Yeah, that's what I heard it somewhere, read it somewhere, that your
Yeah.
highest self is really just your healed inner child.
And it was like boom, light bulb
Yeah.
moment, like made so much sense, because like,
It is.
yeah, who does little Tay want to be?
Your higher self is like who you come in as, your clean slate that's like connected to higher consciousness, that's connected to love and comes from nothing but love, compassion, and empathy.
Yeah.
And when you can operate in that levels, and listen, I'm not fucking perfect. And there's times where I'm definitely not there, and I fucking am rageful and angry and, you know, not understanding.
Yeah, again,
But-
feelings are valid.
Yeah, but it's way shorter. Those emotions, because I choose to feel them, and I feel them often, and I rest when I need rest, and I'm mad when I need when I'm mad, and I'm angry when I'm angry, and I'm sad when I'm sad, like all these things, and I'm happy when I'm happy, because I'm like, because that's the thing, right? Like even being happy, some people have survivor's guilt, and they're like,
Yep.
oh, the sad state of the world, or like, you know, all my friends are not happy, or like, you know, I'm super successful, but I can't celebrate my success because, you know, my friends aren't as successful as I am. It's like, yeah, cool.
No,
like,
it's safe to shine your light. That's one of my
Yes.
affirmations that I say every day.
yeah.
Like, it is safe for me to shine my light. It does not matter what anyone else is going through or what anyone else has. Like, that's, again, it's like, oh, I don't want this to come off the wrong way, but this is something that I've been struggling with lately too. It's like, I refuse, right? So like the whole purpose of the circle, right, is to come around like-minded women that are all collectively doing the same shit or trying to do the same shit and healing from something. And for me, it's like, yeah, you get around women who are actively breaking generational curses. The conversations are different. You're not talking shit. You're not like, you know, doing the gossip fest. You're talking about shit that's like lighting your soul up. And also it's like, I'm like at this point in my life where my kids and my family are my number one priority. So anything outside of that, like, has to be a positive impact on my fucking energy field, or I will not tolerate it anymore.
yeah.
And that's not like a judgmental thing. That's not me saying like, oh, like I'm on this like healing path and you're not. It's like, no, like if you can't take accountability for your own shit or step up to the plate and start doing uncomfortable work, then like I don't fuck with you.
Yeah.
Like I just don't.
I mean, I've been there. It was, you know, it's just not that long ago where I was sitting in circles where all people did was talk about other people. Like it was like my life was
Yeah.
like half of the time, right? I was like doing all these certifications, doing all these things, but then I still had these people in my life
Yep.
that still were so consumed about what other people were doing.
It was almost
you
like a
know,
double life.
talking. about other people and like staying toxic, having friends, and then the second the friends leave, they're like talking shit about people, and I'm guilty of it too. I'm not like I continually say it,
Yeah.
right? We're human
not-
beings, and this is
Yeah,
good.
we're not perfect.
But I don't do that shit anymore. Like I literally like it's low vibrational shit. It's not it. If you're talking about somebody, that person's probably
Or
suffering.
even just the self-pity parties.
Yeah.
And the victim mentality. I can't fuck with the victim mentality. I can't. There's so many resources and things out here now that it's like, if you can't get out of your own way to help yourself, then like I don't know what the fuck to tell you, because there's literally like ample resources now.
And Jessica says it really well too, because she made a reel about it where like I still choose to put myself into those places, but now it's like we have to shine our light. Like I'm
I know.
so willing
that
to
video
go.
blew my fucking mind.
Yeah,
I
right?
know.
Because like once we get here, we can't just be around people that are all like-minded, that are all, living in their light, because the people that are still stuck in that fucking cycle need to see
the light.
need to see the light. So
Light
you
shines
just
brightest in the darkness. I
yes,
know. When she said that, I fucking died. I know.
And you don't have to, like, as you say, fuck with them, right? They don't have to be like in your inner circle, but
That's
we still
just what I
have to
mean,
go
though.
to these places.
I mean, like
yeah,
who I choose to
Yeah,
spend my time
in my
with
inner circle.
outside of my family. Yeah. Like my closest people. Like if you're putting me down, or you're making fun of me for the things that I'm doing, or
Yeah.
you're not willing to see like your actions in a conflict or situation, like you can't take accountability, we can't have a conversation without it being like I'm attacked. Like, do you know what I mean? Like I just won't. I can't.
Yeah.
I can't. I don't have like patience or tolerance for it. And maybe that's because I've spent a year and a half in therapy. So now, like when it happens, I'm just like out here. Like it's like almost like a third person party is like watching at a bird's eye view, and I'm like, no, like this is not it.
Zero tolerance for bullshit.
Zero tolerance. I don't have it anymore. And I used to be such a fucking people pleaser.
Yeah.
And I'm like, not anymore, bitch. Like you got me fucked up. Not anymore.
Yeah, I'm not having it. That was unfortunately one of the, the things that happened with my ex-husband, was that it was like the environment.
Yeah.
Not necessarily even our home, but like the people and places and
Yeah.
things around us that was so fucking toxic that, a lot of it unfortunately wasn't even him and I. It was a lot of
outside influence
that, that made it really, really hard to be successful. But, all lessons and blessings.
Exactly.
And, growth. And again, like what I learned is what I will absolutely not tolerate. And, and that's a beautiful thing. Right. And
Yep.
so.
And Dill always says, like, Dill's number one thing to us in our marriage is like, at the end of the day, babe, it's us. It's me, you, and the kids.
Yeah.
So like, that's it. Like what are you putting this energy, time? Like it's us. So if someone else is going to come into our space and fuck with our shit, then like they have to go.
Right.
Cause like it's us against them. And I'm like, yeah, you're so right. Like, and sometimes it's so hard. Cause I'm like, no, but like, wait, like, they'll change, or I'm gonna fix them. Like, and he's just like, not about it.
You can't fix anybody.
Yeah.
You can't fix anybody. People have to
know.
fix themselves. So the women's circle, though, because we keep getting really distracted.
I know,
but
we
it's
do
all
this.
like
We do this.
Squirrel.
But I mean, it all comes back around. Makes sense.
Always. But the women's circle, so this one was specifically really powerful. We, set intentions, got, into our higher self. And then we went around the fire and we were talked about either a dirty little secret or a fun fact about yourself. And the vulnerability and the openness and the connectedness and
was beautiful.
And like I said, the air and the fire and the food, and it was just literally nothing but connection and community and hugs and support and tears and laughter, and a lot of these women don't know each other. Like they literally, we all just like come.
I know.
They like separate all month long.
Even
and
me,
then
like I think people think that me and Aim know everyone too. I mean, you probably know more than I do, but when women show up to the circle, like there's like a few that show up every single week religiously, but for the most part, we get a lot of new people. And so like I think that's another big misconception. It's like, oh, you have to know us to come to the circle. No, you fucking don't. Like, all are welcome. Show up, sign up. If the circle's full, I apologize. We're trying to make it to a point where we can have a bigger space, but for right now, time's limited, and everyone is welcome, and we want you here. So that's like another misconception. You do not have to know me or Amy, like, to
To
be.
come.
Yeah, no fucking way.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people that actually do that don't know us.
I
and that
know.
just like come and
Come alone. And I will say, I want to shout those people out because that is so, again, vulnerable. And vulnerability is a superpower. And I know, me personally, because I struggle with this still, like showing up places alone. And that is such a fucking superpower in my eyes. For you to show up somewhere in a group full of fucking, alpha females, in my eyes, like a bunch of fucking powerhouses, is like so epic to me. Like, you showed up, you did that, you got open and vulnerable, and it's like beautiful to me.
yeah. And there's a lot of that. And then you leave with a group of new friends.
Yes.
Everybody was like hugging and connected.
I know, it's so beautiful.
you know.
It's like literally my favorite part of the month. It's my favorite part of the month.
I
say
have
it
a
every
lot
month.
of favorite parts of my month.
I love the women's circle the most, I swear.
It's like podcasts.
I know.
We're doing. I swear to God, I text message Tay like at least once a week. I'm like, we're doing epic shit. Like,
It's like hashtag epic shit.
That is a constant text message that I send her. I'm just like,
Yes,
we are doing epic fucking shit.
And we're a fucking power couple. Power couple doesn't have to be a fucking relationship. We
No.
are a powered duo, I swear.
Who said the rules are made up? Who said that a
Yes.
power couple has to be of like a relationship? Like, it can be two women, like it can be two men, like it could be whoever. Like, if you're choosing to, do something to, we want global healing, like that, like global healing is the goal. Like, this isn't just like, oh, we just want to like stick to Manchester and like do what we can for this community. No, we're gonna have big retreats and thousands of people and festivals and travel the world and do these things and bring our kids like all throughout the country and have this positivity and this influence. And we talk to each other, and that's what we dream. We live in that space. Like, we live in that reality, and there is nobody that's going to tell us that we can't fucking do that. So if you don't have a friend in your life that you sit on the couch and you're like, what your wildest dreams,
you dream with,
you dream and let's make those fucking dreams even more wild. Like, how can we make it bigger?
Yeah. Seriously, bigger.
I need to get that bigger. Maybe I need to get that tattooed on my face. Make it bigger.
Let them and make it bigger.
But yeah, those are like my two like main sayings. Like, yes, make everything bigger. That we are our own creator of our own limiting beliefs. There is no, like, I don't care. I don't care right now. No, there's no fucking limit. Limitless. Limitless.
Sky's not even the limit, baby. It's limitless.
Yeah, a potential and universal and all of this like oneness and wholeness. Like, it's so attainable. And I don't care. You could look me dead in my eyes and be like, that's never going to happen. And I'm going to be like, cool for you, bro.
Literally.
Yeah, you want to know what that's even crazier?
You become unfuckwithable. When you're in this work and when you're doing the things that make you uncomfortable, you get to a point where you're like unfuckwithable. Like, someone will say something to you and it's just like, before it would stick and you would probably obsess about it and stew over it for like a solid week. And now it's like, bro, you can't convince me that like this world isn't magic and I'm fucking magic.
I said it on the podcast with Hannah. I was like, literally, like, I think I am a fucking magical bitch.
Yes.
Fucking 13 years ago, I was homeless, shooting heroin, and I wanted to fucking die.
Yeah.
Granted, and I really like to know this has like been like a 10, 12 year process for me to like get to this level. But now I have a nonprofit that gets over $1 million in grants every year. Like, I have a business. I have 5 beautiful children. I have a podcast. I have fucking amazing people in my life. Like, I'm living my wild, like, I could have never, if you sat me down, like, when I was in rehab and you were like, Amy, in 13 years, this is what your life is going to look like, I would have been like, what the fuck kind of drugs are you on? And give me some, please.
Yeah, seriously.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, that's wild. And
that's how I felt at the women's circle. like in my yard.
Yes.
Like hosting 20 women in my yard, and I was homeless 7 years ago, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I own a fucking home with land, and I'm
Yeah.
able to do epic shit like
With
this.
beautiful children and a husband and like all this
I
like
just
epic
like kept
shit.
crying. I was like, dude, this is my yard. This is my fucking backyard.
Yeah.
It's like unreal. Unreal.
So yeah, it takes time and it takes baby steps. And I, went to Harris, like did all these other things that I thought I was supposed to do. But all of those things prepped me for this.
Yeah.
Like 100%.
Yeah, I agree.
Like everything that I was like doing in the meantime prepped me for exactly what this is. So, and also, I still have so much fucking life to live.
Yeah.
And like that's where if you're sitting like we talk about that all the time, like
we're still so young.
We're still so young and
so young.
Even if you're in your 50s or like you still have so much life to live. Why are you choosing to live in misery? Why are you choosing to live in stuckness? Why are you choosing like just think about journal that like journal all the time. Why am I choosing this? Figure out the broken programmings that weren't your fault. Forgive your parents for not knowing what the fuck that they were doing and find a community, find a place that you can heal, find a best friend that tells you that your fucking dreams are like not big enough and how can we make them bigger? Like nothing is unattainable in this world.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's where like the real healing starts. And you can literally make that decision anytime if you just stop caring what people think.
It's like a double-edged sword though. It's like life is short, but also you have so much life to live. So like how are you going to live it?
Yeah.
Because like it could end tomorrow.
How are you going to choose to live it? Are you going to choose to stay a victim? Are you going to choose to stay in the blame game? Are you going to choose to stay in this fucking mediocre world that doesn't fucking make sense of like going to work 40 hours a week to fucking party on the weekends to like be excited for fucking Friday to maybe do a vacation once a year with your kids? Like that is not fucking it. That is not they sold it to us as the American dream, and I'm telling you right fucking now that is the human experience. That is the human experience that they want, where they program you, manipulate you, and keep you stuck in a fucking vicious cycle.
Yeah.
Compared to the spiritual dream where you're connected to everyone and everything, and everyone and everything is love and connection and divinity and oneness and beauty, and the acceptance of having pain is that we can't have pain without joy and happiness, and that it's all a part of the ebbs and flows of the spiritual experience that we're supposed to have on this earth. We are supposed to be connected with the earth and with each other.
Yep. Agreed.
And that's what we're learning in our women's circle and healing sister wounds, because that's like the biggest thing of what everybody says, and even me, because I was always like, same.
I was always a guy's girl,
and I grew up with I ride a Harley. I was a tomboy, and all these all broken things because I had all these sister wounds. I had all these toxic friendships, and even up until fucking 6 months ago, I had toxic ass friendships. I'm learning that lesson as I'm growing and seeing what's good and what's not good, and what feels good and what doesn't feel good, and knowing when people are using you for something, but you're like attached because you're like, oh, they've been in my life for so long. They did this for me at this point, but and then just like allowing toxic behavior and like allowing, people to, because you're like attached. Like, nope, that's fine. See you later.
Yep.
I'm fine.
I know.
I'm fine without you.
Yeah. And like that, it's like also though, it's like, that sucks and that hurts, and like you're gonna go through that hurt and you're gonna go through that pain, but again, on the other side of pain and fear and all of it is breakthrough. Always So yeah, it was
you gotta break down and have a breakthrough.
It's just beautiful, you guys. We hope that like every single one of you who listens gets to experience at least one of the women's circles, because they're magical, and there's just nothing like a community like that to me in my eyes. Like, it's just so fucking beautiful. And women are fucking dope. Like, we are so dope.
Yeah.
Women are fucking magical.
Magical bitches. And every
so
woman,
divine,
it's not out of
so
ego.
powerful.
Everyone should wake up and be like, I am the most magical bitch walking around.
Like, we are able to create life. Like, women are fucking dope. Like,
We're soul bearers. We
Yes.
are the connection of the souls to this world.
to the earth. Like, it is fucked. It is mind blowing.
And we've been diminished and played
Yes,
small.
put down
and made property.
made to hate each other,
Yeah.
pitted against each other.
and been made property. When I, like,
yeah.
I always hate saying this because obviously I love Dill and like divorce and stuff, but a lot, and like I don't really see that in your relationship, but in a lot of marriages, it's like women are property and
Yeah.
they own you and you have to change your last name, and it's like this whole like, so
Yeah, I do get it. That's one of the biggest, like, me and Dill, that was like our biggest thing. I didn't believe in marriage and he did, and I was just like willing to sacrifice that for him because that was like he's such like a traditional good old boy, and I was just like, fine, I'll fucking sign a paper, you know.
Like, what is it? What does the paper do? Get you involved in the government? Like, what the
Yeah,
fuck for what?
Just wanted the last name, but I'm proud to have his last name, and that's, that's beautiful. But I do agree. I think that you can love someone and be with someone for the rest of your life and not have to sign paperwork.
Yeah.
Fact.
I will never get married again.
Yeah, like, I don't think it's necessary. I think it's a beautiful, like,
Ceremony.
yeah, sentiment or commitment.
be
But
ceremony.
yeah,
And I'm not against marriage. And my parents have been married forever and like all the things. But for
well,
me,
I grew up
personally-
watching marriages fail. So, like, that's where I was like, no. Like, I don't believe in marriage. I'm not signing a paper. Every person I've ever watched get married, gets divorced 2 years later. Like, it's like as soon, like, I watched couples be together for like 10 plus years, get married, 2 years later, they're fucking divorcing. It's like all of a sudden all these problems happen after they've signed a piece of paper. And so in my eyes, it was like, I'm not signing any fucking papers because we're good just the way we are. And then we kind of had to when we bought our house. We didn't really have a choice.
The government like makes you do it.
Yes, we literally
It's just
had to get
weird. You
married to buy our house. So,
but we just went off on a tangent.
Jesus Christ.
Always get us together. Can you guys just imagine what our play dates are like? We're just like squirrel blurp. I'm like, wait, what were we
One
talking
kid's
about?
screaming. We have to run off, come back. Okay, what
We're
were we
like,
saying?
Yeah, what? How do we get shit? I don't know how we get shit done, but we get it done. It's
We
happening.
do.
We've been doing
We
it.
do.
We also wanted to talk about a little bit because we are going to be taking a break. So
Yes.
we're going to have guests up until November 1st. And then for the holidays, November and December, we are going to take a break, but we're still going to like
rest.
post content and like make reels and like highlights of like the podcasts that we had. So we're going to do 33 episodes, and then we'll come back in the Lunar New Year when we started our last one, and we are going to open it up and have men and women on the podcast.
We're so excited.
Because we will be starting our men's Sacred Rebels.
And men are human too. Men need healing too.
Yeah, so we are starting our men's Sacred Rebels men's circle here. And I open Sacred app, the Sacred Community app is open to men. And, one of my biggest lessons that I've learned in one of my journeys was that it came back, and that men need healing too. Like, men need to heal, because if the men don't heal, the women don't heal. Like, we need to heal together. And there's not a lot of places that men can go to, women have so many women's circles and women's groups and empowerment and self-defense class. Like, we have all these things that we've created.
Yep.
But men don't create that, because women are the creators. We are the creators of things. Like, that's very feminine energy, is to create. So, So that's what we're doing. So if you're a guy and you want to come in the podcast next year after our break, please reach out to us. We are super excited to switch the dynamic up a little bit. Women too, so we'll have both.
Excited.
Yeah.
Season 2, baby.
Season 2. So we're wrapping it up. Can you believe it? We're gonna have 33 episodes. Like, we fucking killed it.
By the
like,
end of the month,
we had no idea what we were doing. We had wobbly ass legs, and we said like every other word.
Do we still do that?
No.
We don't?
No.
That is so impressive.
I know. I was listening to one the other day, and I was like, in our reels, like, some now that our reels are getting a little bit more.
Yeah,
but
you know what it is? It's confidence. Like and are the two words that kind of just like, we didn't really know what we were doing at first. Yeah.
we had to make fun of ourselves, because we would go and we'd be like, wow, we said like every other word. So, and we still do it sometimes,
Or
but
swear like fucking trailer trash. And I'm like,
Yeah.
wow, I swear that much? I don't even know.
yeah, same. I swear all the time. But that's okay. And we didn't care. We just listened to it and we're
Yeah.
like, wow, this is painful. So if you go back and listen to the first episodes, it's like, oh, wow.
You know what's
but
funny?
it's evolution.
I'm going to read this today because this is a really good testimony. And this is like someone who I grew up with. She's like a second mom to me. She texted me today and said, "Holy fuck, Tay. I'm in the beginning stages of listening to all your podcasts. I was just sitting on my lawnmower cutting the grass and I had pure chills and was a blubbering fucking mess crying to Kaylin's story. I am so positively triggered by this. I cannot thank you guys for this moment enough." And I was like, I fucking love this so much. I love you. Thank you for sharing and letting me know. And
Yeah,
the biggest thing was just like, I'm only 4 podcasts in, but wow, I'm learning that I need to learn to love myself. I've known this, and I'm allowing myself to allow that is unfathomable. It's frustrating. And I was like, girl, same, I get it. And she's my mom's age, like late
Yeah.
50s. Like, so it's like, there is no age on this. Like,
No.
like Dill's godmother, like first few episodes, she was like, wow, like I clearly have a lot of work I have to do. And it's like that generation, right? That older generation who didn't get into this shit until now because we're starting to speak up.
And they
Which
stuffed it down and stuffed it down
yes.
and stuffed it down.
And
It's
that's
like
such
my
a
mom,
beautiful thing too. Like how cool that like our mentors in a way are now learning from us.
Yeah.
Like it's beautiful.
My mom tells me all the time, she's like, you are literally so brave because my mom was sexually molested by a family member when she was in her
child,
in her
yeah.
child too. It's like generational shit like happening. And she's always telling me, she's like, you are so brave,
Yeah.
like so brave and strong and resilient. And my mom comes to breath work now and like doing these things. And it's like, it's so beautiful to be
It
able
is.
to, have the roles reversed a little.
I know, same. I love that. I love that our moms are on this journey with us too. It's like the best part about it for me. Cause like it's epic. Cause my mom's my best friend. So imagine if like I couldn't call her and have a conversation and be like, listen how dope this is, or look at the cards I pulled today. Like
Yeah.
that would suck.
Right.
I'd be like, get with it, mom.
I know my mom's a white witch. So
Yeah.
I was always like, I did not, when I was a kid, I'm not like, my mom was always like doing these things. She always had crystals.
Yeah.
She has a broom above her door. Like she has a wand. Like she did all this shit and I'd be like, Mom, you're fucking nuts. Like I was never like into it with her. And I mean, obviously I had my own trauma and then drugs were
Yeah.
it and that stuff just like, I wanted to be hood. I
Yeah.
wanted to be a drug dealer and I wanted to be a fucking hood rat. I'm like, man, I could have skipped a lot of pain, but it's fine because now I had everything happen for me and not to me, right? Like
Yeah.
if I would have went down that path at that age, I would have never created any of this, right? So we have to like just like have the duality in it and see the duality in it and see the beauty in all of it.
Yeah. Agreed. This life's so fucking beautiful.
It's so fucking cool. Join
We're
us.
so
Join
fucking
us.
grateful.
Come see
Yes.
us. Hang out with us. Come to the
Even
studio.
the listeners,
Join the app.
like the listeners, we have hundreds of listeners, and I'm so fucking grateful for all of you. Like,
yeah,
who would have thought
hundreds of people listen
every single week?
every week. Hundreds.
It's
like
wild. It's wild. to me.
wild.
I know it's wild. I thought maybe we'd get like 20 to 40 tops.
Literally, hundreds of people listen to us sit on this couch and just talk fucking shit. We love you and we are so grateful. And
Yes.
you keep us going and we keep going because you keep listening and you keep showing up to the Women's Circle and they fill out every month and the studio is filling up and the people showing up on the app. It's epic. It truly
epic.
is. It's epic. And
So
we
come
are the
be a part of
pioneers.
it.
Come join
Just
us.
come be a part
in real
of it.
life.
Yes.
In real life.
Reach out always. We're open books. We love y'all, and we're just beyond grateful.
And we'll close the same way we start. One hand on the heart, one hand on the belly. Big inhale, inhale, lift up, rise up, fill up, open the heart. Exhale, let that shit go. Bye.
Love y'all.
Thanks for listening to the Amy and Tay Show. Thanks so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to listen to what we have to say. It means the world. As always, we want to end this episode by reminding you that we are not medical professionals and we are not giving any type of medical advice. We are simply sharing our experience and solutions.
We are here with the intentions of reminding you that you are never alone and that everyone's healing journey is unique to the individual. Make sure to follow us on all social media platforms to stay updated. Stay well, Sacred Rebels. See you next time.